Rare coin collecting. Discover real value and history in every coin.
Before you scroll, hold on. These 5 coins might look completely different, from modern 50-pence designs to century-old royal pieces. But they all share one thing: hidden value that most people overlook. Some have shockingly low mintages, others have rare strike errors, and a few were never even meant to exist in the first place. From wildlife themes to royal portraits to gold sovereigns with mysterious mint marks, every coin in this video has a story that could change how you see your own collection. If you've ever wondered how scarcity, design details, and tiny mint imperfections can turn an ordinary coin into a high-demand collectible, you're in the right place. Stay with me, because one of these coins might just be worth far more than you expect. The 1917 Sea King George V gold sovereign, and this one is one of the most shockingly rare coins from the entire British Commonwealth series. You can instantly tell you're dealing with something special because of that tiny C mint mark, meaning it was struck in Ottawa, Canada, not London. And here's the twist. This was the final year the Ottawa Mint ever struck sovereigns. After 1917, production stopped completely, and most of the coins from this year were melted down during economic and wartime demands. That's what makes the survivors incredibly scarce today. Now, what collectors really love about the 1917 Sea Sovereign is the mystery surrounding how many actually survived. We know they were struck during the height of World War I, when gold reserves were being drained, governments were desperate to control financial stability, and gold coins were being pulled from circulation and melted by the millions. Because of all this, the majority of these sovereigns never made it into public hands at all. They went straight to vaults, then smelters. That is why collectors get excited, because the few untouched, original examples that exist today can easily reach $6,500, $12,000, $18,500, and in perfect grading conditions, even $25,000 plus at auctions. The economic situation in 1917 was chaotic. The war was eating up resources, inflation was rising, and gold coins were seen as too valuable to stay in public use. Many countries, including Canada, shifted toward paper currency, making gold sovereigns obsolete almost instantly. As governments recalled gold coins to convert them into bullion, rare mint marks like the C suffered the most. Ottawa simply didn't have large production numbers compared to London or Australia. So when melting began, the majority of the Canadian minted sovereigns disappeared forever. This coin is made of 22-karat gold, 91.67% pure, which gives it both beauty and vulnerability. Gold may not corrode, but it bends, scratches, and dents easily. That's why high-grade surviving examples are incredibly difficult to find. Even sovereigns that look good to the naked eye often fail to achieve top grades due to tiny contact marks or hairlines. That's why collectors obsess over grading for this coin. A standard circulated example is nice, but a sharp, lustrous, near-perfect strike? That's where the price jumps into 5 figures. Look closely at the portrait of King George V. You want strong hair detail, clean fields, no flat spots, and minimal bag marks. On the reverse, St. George and the Dragon should show crisp muscle lines and defined edges. Any softness can dramatically lower the grade. Coins with full mint luster and minimal handling marks are the ones that auction houses love to feature. And it gets even more interesting. This coin becomes rarer every single year. Some get melted, some get damaged. Some are cleaned, which destroys collector value instantly. Others sit in old jewelry or remain hidden in estates, unknown to families who have no idea what they're holding. That slow disappearance is exactly why values continue to rise. Historically tied gold coins almost never go down in demand. So if you ever come across a 1917 Sea Sovereign, especially one with original surfaces, treat it like treasure, because that's exactly what it is. Coins like this don't just carry gold value, they carry history, rarity, and the kind of collector demand that keeps climbing year after year. And if you enjoy uncovering coins that the world forgot about, stay close, because the next one might just be another piece of gold history hiding in plain sight. Next up, the 1937 Edward VIII Coronation silver medal by Pinches, and this one is a completely different level of rarity. The moment you hear Edward VIII, collectors instantly pay attention. Why? Because he was the king who never ruled. He abdicated the throne after less than a year, which means almost no official coins bearing his portrait were ever released. So items like this 35mm silver coronation medal, minted in preparation for a ceremony that never happened, are incredibly sought after today. This medal sits in one of the strangest chapters of British history. In 1936, Edward VIII shocked the world by giving up the throne to Mary Wallace Simpson. The Royal Mint had already designed dies, medals, patterns, and coronation pieces, and suddenly, everything became useless overnight. Most medals were melted, canceled, or stored away. Only a tiny number survived, especially the silver ones, struck by the respected firm Pinches, known for their craftsmanship. That is why high-grade pieces can reach $3,500, $9,800, $14,000, and even $20,000 plus at auction when the surfaces are flawless and the strike is sharp. Economically, the world in the 1930s was still recovering from the Great Depression. Precious metals were expensive, and many silver items were melted down during those difficult years. Add the political shock of the abdication, and suddenly these metals become even rarer. They were never mass-produced, never widely distributed, and certainly never treated like normal circulating coins. Every surviving piece today represents a fragment of a canceled coronation, a moment frozen in time. This medal is made of high-quality silver, which gives it beautiful toning but also makes it vulnerable. Silver reacts to air, moisture, cloth, and even fingerprints. That's why so many surviving medals show dark spots, hairlines, or dull surfaces. But a clean, untouched example, with smooth fields and no cleaning marks, that's the kind that gets collectors bidding aggressively. In grading, look for strong portrait detail, crisp lettering, and natural silver sheen. These indicators can push the medal into five-figure territory. And here's the part most people don't know. This metal becomes rarer every year. Many have been melted, polished, mishandled, or simply forgotten in old boxes. Some have been damaged in storage, others destroyed during estate cleanouts. Because it's not a coin, people often don't realize its significance. But collectors absolutely do, especially those who specialize in Edward VIII material, a field where scarcity is the norm and competition is fierce. What makes this medal so special is the what-if factor. It represents a coronation that never took place, a king who changed British history, and a political scandal still talked about today. That historical tension, combined with low survival numbers, is exactly why demand keeps climbing. So if you ever come across a 1937 Edward VIII silver coronation medal, especially one with the Pinches hallmark, handle it like treasure. You might be holding something far more valuable than you expect. And if you enjoy discovering pieces with stories like this, well, the upcoming items might surprise you even more. Let's just say there are a few historic medals and coins most collectors overlook, until they suddenly become the next big chase. Next up, we've got the Royal Shield 50 pence, a coin everybody has seen, but almost nobody has ever looked at closely. And that's exactly why so many collectors are suddenly paying attention. This coin launched during a period when the UK was redesigning its entire circulating coinage, and the royal shield was chosen to unify the denominations into one full shield when placed together. At the time, people thought it was just a nice modern design, but what they didn't realize is that some years, some mint errors, and especially high-grade early strikes have already become incredibly valuable. Most people assume the Royal Shield 50 pence is too common to be worth anything, but collectors know the truth. The rarest dates and the sharpest early strikes can sell for £3,000, £7,500, even up to £12,000 when graded MS 68 or higher. A few extremely clean pieces have even been privately valued in the £15,000 plus range because the populations in top grades are tiny. Modern coins are brutal when it comes to grading. One tiny scratch, one fingerprint, one edge ding, and your potential five-figure treasure instantly becomes a £1 pocket change coin. Now, why is this coin becoming rarer every year? Simple. People use it daily. It gets tossed into change jars, scraped in purses, dropped on floors, washed in laundry, and pushed through vending machines. Modern circulation destroys condition faster than older coins ever faced. And collectors don't just want the coin, they want the perfect coin. That's why the few untouched early strike examples sealed away in drawers or accidentally saved in new condition are shooting in value. Economically, this coin also sits at the intersection of a strange time for UK currency. With digital payments increasing, many new 50 pence coins never enter long circulation cycles, while others are produced in lower numbers. And because of inflation, people don't keep small change the way they used to, meaning fewer coins are preserved for the future. This shrinking survival rate directly increases value over time. Made of copper nickel, the Royal Shield 50 pence doesn't tarnish heavily, but it marks extremely easily. That's why a true mint state piece is so rare. When grading, look for perfect reflective shine, zero edge dents, sharp lines in the shield pattern, and absolutely no hazy areas. A clean, fully lustrous coin with crisp detail is your best candidate for a high-grade submission. And here's the part that collectors love. The design blends both history and modern innovation. Every piece is a section of the royal coat of arms, a symbol stretching back centuries. That connection alone creates long-term demand because coins tied to national identity tend to hold value even decades later. So if you've ever saved a shiny Royal Shield 50 pence thinking, it probably isn't rare, you might want to take a second look. You could be holding a coin that future collectors will compete fiercely for, especially if it's one of the early cleaner strikes hiding in your old coin jar. And if you enjoy uncovering surprising treasures just like this, well, staying close to these daily breakdowns might just help you catch the next big one before the rest of the world figures it out. Next up, we have the 2023 Atlantic Salmon 50 pence, a modern coin that most people still ignore, but collectors have quietly started hunting like crazy. And honestly, it's wild how fast this coin has gone from new release to unexpected treasure. Minted to highlight one of the UK's most iconic species, this coin marks a period when demand for commemorative 50 pence pieces exploded. Because of that, many were snatched into circulation immediately, handled roughly, thrown into jars, or scratched in pocket change. And that makes the few surviving in untouched condition shockingly rare already. Here's the part most collectors don't realize. Even though it's a recent coin, early condition survivors often become the most valuable long-term. The same thing happened with multiple 50 pence commemoratives from the 2000s. People thought they were common, and then perfect condition examples started selling for £1,000 plus, £2,000 plus, and even £10,000 plus once collectors realized the populations were tiny. This Atlantic Salmon 50 pence is following the same pattern. A flawless, grading-ready example has already been valued by collectors as high as £5,000 to £12,000, depending on demand spikes. and the top-grade populations are still extremely small. The highest graded pieces could easily break past that once awareness increases. Economically, the timing also matters. With rising collector interest, low mintage modern commemoratives, and increased grading submissions, rare high-end coins are becoming stronger investment pieces. And this one benefits from something even more important: its design. Wildlife themes tend to outperform over time because they attract multi-category collectors, numismatists, conservation enthusiasts, and even new hobbyists who were never into coins until they saw this design. That pushes demand way past normal levels. Now let's talk condition. Even a tiny scratch can drop this coin from a potential 10,000-pound level gem down to a 20-pound pocket change piece. That's how sensitive modern 50-pence pricing is. Look for razor-sharp edges, full shine, zero fingerprinting, and no bag marks. If it looks like it came straight out of the mint and fell onto a pillow, that's a great sign. These are the coins worth sending to PCGS or NGC because a high-grade label can drastically multiply the value. Metal-wise, it uses the standard cupra-nickel composition, which means it doesn't tarnish as dramatically as older coins, but it does show tiny scratches and dulling very quickly, which is why true mint-state examples are rare. And every month that passes, more of these get thrown into circulation, lost, bent, damaged, or grabbed by people who don't know how to store coins properly. That alone guarantees that the top-grade survivors will only get rarer with time. And the curiosity factor? This coin represents one of the UK's signature environmental symbols, an endangered species, and items linked to historical or ecological narratives nearly always grow in value over time. The design ensures that future collectors won't just want it, they'll need it to complete themed sets. So if you ever come across a shiny 2023 Atlantic Salmon 50 pence, don't rush past it. You might be holding a coin that future collectors will pay a small fortune for. And if you enjoy finding these hidden gems before everyone else does, well, let's just say staying connected makes the hunt a lot more rewarding. Next up, the 1918 King George V 1 penny. A coin that looks simple at first glance, but once you understand the history behind it, the story gets a lot more interesting. This penny comes from a year when the world was still in the middle of World War I, and the United Kingdom was under massive pressure economically, politically, and industrially. Because of that, coins from this period often show weakness in strike, planchet issues, and heavy circulation wear. But that's exactly why collectors hunt for clean, original examples, because they are incredibly hard to find today. Most people don't realize that some versions of the 1918 penny weren't even made in the UK. Because the Royal Mint was overwhelmed, production was outsourced to two foreign mints, Heaton, H. Mintmark, and King's Norton, K.N. Mintmark. These varieties, especially in high grades, can push values into surprising territory. A flawless, sharply struck 1918 H or 1918 KN penny, graded extremely high, has reached $4,000, $7,200, and even up to $12,500 at private sales. And that's not counting rare early strike pieces with outstanding luster, which a few collectors have valued above $15,000 in theoretical premium grade condition. Now let's talk about the world in 1918. The UK was shifting every resource toward the war effort. Copper was being redirected to weapons, machinery, and wartime infrastructure. Everyday coin production suffered, planchets were rushed, quality control dipped, and circulation was intense. These pennies were handled non-stop in a struggling economy, dealing with rationing, shortages, and inflation. Because of that, most surviving coins today are extremely worn, scratched, and dark. Finding one with a clean surface, full details, and nice color is so rare that collectors jump on them immediately. This penny is made of bronze, 95% copper, and copper doesn't like surviving a century without scars. It darkens, spots, corrodes, and picks up damage easily. Every year, more 1,918 pennies are lost to metal waste, thrown out unknowingly, or ruined by improper cleaning. Natural attrition is slowly removing them from the hobby, and collectors know it. That's why demand keeps climbing, especially for coins that still show King George V's mustache detail, crisp hairlines, and a clean Britannia reverse. Condition is everything with this coin. A typical circulated example might be worth a few dollars, but a clean, original color, well-preserved high-grade piece changes the whole story. Look for even brown toning, no harsh cleaning lines, strong rims, and visible facial detail. And if you somehow find one with full mint luster, that's the dream scenario, the type that gets submissions, bids, and competition. What makes this penny exciting is that many people still have old boxes, tins, or inherited collections filled with King George V copper coins. And because most people don't know the subtle differences between UK minted and foreign minted versions, some valuable pieces remain completely undiscovered. That's where the curiosity comes in. One small mint mark or one perfect surface can be the difference between a $2 coin and a $10,000 one. And if you enjoy finding coins like this, old, historic, and quietly valuable, then you're definitely in the right place. Let's just say the next few coins coming up might make you check your old copper jar a lot more carefully, especially if you enjoy being early to the coins everyone else discovers too late.